Welcome back, fight fans. The lightweight division has been buzzing with excitement, and two names that have been dominating the headlines are Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Shakur Stevenson. These two fighters are not just champions, they are icons in the making. Davis, the reigning WBA lightweight champion, boasts an undefeated record of 30-0 with an astonishing 93% knockout rate. Known for his explosive power and precision, Tank has become a fan favorite for his ability to end fights in dramatic fashion. Meanwhile, Stevenson, the current WBC lightweight champion, is a master tactician in the ring. With a record of 23-0, the Newark native has showcased exceptional defensive skills and pinpoint accuracy, making him one of the most technically gifted fighters of his generation. As fans continue to speculate about a potential clash between these two boxing talents, the question remains: what would happen if Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Shakur Stevenson finally shared the ring? To understand the magnitude of this matchup, it's crucial to delve into the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. On one hand, Davis is a knockout artist, a fighter who can change the trajectory of a bout with a single punch. His power is a rare gift, and it has allowed him to dismantle opponents who dare to step into the ring with him. Fighters like Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero have learned firsthand just how devastating Tank's punches can be. His ability to close the distance and land those explosive shots makes him a nightmare for any opponent. On the other hand, Stevenson is the epitome of finesse. While he doesn't possess the same knockout power as Davis, his defensive skills are second to none. Stevenson's ability to slip punches and control the pace of a fight is a testament to his boxing IQ. He doesn't just win fights, he dominates them, making his opponents look ordinary in the process. His performance against Oscar Valdez and Toshiro Yoshino was a masterclass in boxing, as he used his jab and footwork to neutralize his opponent's aggression. However, a potential matchup between Davis and Stevenson would not just be a battle of skills, but also a clash of styles. Davis's aggressive, stalking approach contrasts sharply with Stevenson's calculated counterpunching style. This dynamic would make for an intriguing chess match in the ring, with each fighter trying to impose their will on the other. One of the key factors in this hypothetical showdown would be Davis's power. With 28 knockouts in 30 fights, Tank has proven that he doesn't need to throw a high volume of punches to be effective. He is a master of efficiency, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash his devastating counters. Against Frank Martin, Davis showcased his tactical prowess, breaking down his opponent methodically before delivering the finishing blow. The question is whether Stevenson's defense could withstand that kind of power over 12 rounds. Stevenson's defense is undoubtedly his greatest asset. His ability to make opponents miss is almost otherworldly. However, Stevenson relies on excessive movement to avoid punches and has faced much criticism for that same reason, deeming his style as boring, like his fight against Edwin de los Santos. One thing that Stevenson excels is in using subtle shifts in position and impeccable timing to frustrate his opponents. Against Yoshino, Stevenson demonstrated his ability to counter effectively even when pinned against the ropes. His composure under pressure is a quality that would serve him well against a fighter like Davis. But defense alone may not be enough to secure a victory against Tank. Davis has shown time and time again that he can adapt to different styles. His fight against Ryan Garcia is a prime example. Despite Garcia's size and reach advantage, Davis patiently bided his time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to land his trademark left hand. When the moment came, it was lights out for Garcia. Stevenson would need to find a way to keep Davis at bay while also scoring points to sway the judges. One potential advantage for Stevenson is his work rate. While Davis is known for his knockout power, his punch output is relatively low. Against Romero, Davis threw just 40 punches in the first 3.5 rounds. Stevenson, on the other hand, is a more active fighter, often throwing combinations in 4-punch sequences. This could give him an edge in the scoring department, especially if the fight goes the distance. However, Stevenson's tendency to probe with his jab could also leave him vulnerable to counters. Davis is a master at exploiting openings, and a poorly timed jab from Stevenson could spell disaster. The fight would likely hinge on Stevenson's ability to maintain his distance and avoid getting caught by Davis's power shots. Another factor to consider is the mental aspect of the fight. Both Davis and Stevenson are supremely confident in their abilities, but they approach the sport in different ways. Davis thrives on the big stage, feeding off the energy of the crowd and rising to the occasion in high-pressure situations. Stevenson, meanwhile, is more reserved, focusing on the technical aspects of the sport. This difference in mentality could play a role in how the fight unfolds. If the fight were to happen, it would undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. The build-up alone would be a spectacle, with both fighters trading verbal jabs in the lead-up to the bout. Davis and Stevenson have already exchanged words on social media, adding fuel to the fire. Fans would be treated to a clash of two undefeated champions at the peak of their powers, a rare occurrence in the sport of boxing. As for the outcome, it's a tough call. If the fight goes the distance, Stevenson's superior volume and precision could give him the edge on the scorecards. But that's a big if. Davis's power is the ultimate equalizer, and it's hard to imagine Stevenson going 12 rounds without getting caught by at least one of Tank's bombs. What's a less-known fact is that the two of them actually shared the ring long before they were world champions. Back in late 2016, they sparred while at very different stages of their careers. At the time, Davis was gearing up for his first world title bout against IBF super featherweight champion Jose Pedraza. It was a pivotal moment for Tank, who was still building his reputation as a knockout artist with world-class potential. Meanwhile, Stevenson was fresh off his silver medal performance at the Rio Olympics and preparing to transition from the amateur ranks to the pros. Tank invited Stevenson into his training camp for sparring, and, by all accounts, the sessions were mutually beneficial. Both fighters spoke highly of each other, and their interactions were friendly. However, as the years went on and both men rose to stardom, the relationship took a sharp turn. The competitive nature of the sport and mounting speculation about who got the better of whom in those sparring sessions added fuel to the fire. By 2022, when Tank appeared on the Rise podcast, he was far from cordial when discussing those past sessions. He made his stance clear. "They've all been in the ring with me, and I cracked both of them," Tank said, referencing not only Stevenson but also Devin Haney, another top lightweight at the time. Predictably, Stevenson wasn't about to let that comment slide. He accused Davis of exaggerating the events and fabricating the details, setting the stage for a war of words that continues to this day. Now, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If these two finally meet in the ring, how will the fight play out? We've seen both of their strengths and weaknesses, and we can't exactly choose the winner. Sure, Tank might have the leaning edge, but until the fight indeed happens, we can't say for sure. Right now, Davis versus Stevenson is a fantasy fight that every boxing fan is desperate to see. It's a classic clash of styles. Tank's explosive power and tactical presence versus Stevenson's defensive wizardry and technical brilliance. But until the promotional barriers are resolved and the contracts are signed, all we can do is speculate. Roy Jones Jr., a boxing legend in his own right, has weighed in on the debate, giving the edge to Davis. "He can punch, but he can also box," Jones said. "Some that can box can't punch, some that can punch can't box. He can do it all." Jones' assessment underscores the challenge that Stevenson would face in trying to dethrone Tank. However, it's worth noting that Stevenson has made a habit of rising to the occasion. His performances against Valdez and Yoshino were nothing short of spectacular, and he has shown that he can adapt to different styles. If anyone has the tools to solve the puzzle that is Gervonta Davis, it's Shakur Stevenson. In the end, the fight would come down to who can execute their game plan more effectively. For Davis, that means finding a way to close the distance and land his power shots. For Stevenson, it means staying disciplined, using his jab to control the pace, and avoiding Davis's counters. Regardless of the outcome, a fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson would be a win for boxing fans. It would be a showcase of skill, power, and strategy. A reminder of why we love the sport. And while the debate over who would win rages on, one thing is certain. This is a fight that needs to happen. What do you think? Could Stevenson outbox Davis, or would Tank's power prove too much to handle? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing content. Until next time, fight fans.